in the middle of Holy Week, or also known as Passion Week. And if you were with me on Sunday, you know that I invited you this entire week to spend some time reading your word and really paying attention to all that Jesus did in terms of his sacrifice so that we would have life and life more abundantly. But today I also want us to take time to take a closer look at ourselves. You know, as we read the New Testament, we see all the things that the early disciples did to not only honor God, but also the way that they learned how to be Christians here on earth. Disciples made a lot of mistakes. They fell short a lot. But guess what? You and I fall short all the time. We make a lot of mistakes. And so this week, while you're studying the life of Jesus Christ and the sacrifice that he made over 2,000 years ago, I also want you to pay attention to the disciples and see if you see yourself inside there. In Matthew, the 26th chapter, the verse I wanted to share with you today, beginning with verse 6, listen to what Jesus does and also pay attention to what the early disciples did as well. It says in verse 6, while Jesus was in Bethany in the home of Simon the leper, a woman came to him with an alabaster jar of very expensive perfume, which she poured out on his head as he was reclining at the table. When the disciples saw this, they were indignant. Why this waste? They asked. This perfume could have been sold at high price and the money given to the poor. Aware of this, Jesus said to them, why are you bothering this woman? She has done a beautiful thing to me. You know, when I first read this particular passage, I thought to myself, how selfish are the disciples? Why in the world would they criticize what this woman did? This woman sacrificed her own perfume in order to bless Jesus. And here they are getting indignant with her. But then I began to look within myself and say, how many times have I seen other people try to honor God? And because of my selfish behavior, I thought what they were doing wasn't good enough. I thought their ideas was not good enough. I thought maybe their giving wasn't good enough. But watch what Jesus does. Jesus takes this as a teachable moment. So I went further and I read a little closer and I realized something. The disciples really did ask a negative question. They asked simply, why is she being allowed to do this particular work? See, they had been with Jesus a long time. They understood the sacrifice of giving. They understood the importance of prayer. They understood those other things. But they did not understand this particular way of honoring God. How often do we do the same thing? When we don't see people honoring God the way that we honor him, we somehow think what they're doing is wrong. Just because they don't pray the way we pray, or they don't give as much as we give, or they don't dress the way that we dress, we look at them and say, hey, why are you doing that? And then they went deeper. They even said, we could have used that perfume to help the poor. So their motivation wasn't necessarily negative. Really what they were saying was, I'm confused. Is what she's doing just as good as what I do? And Jesus responds in an incredible way. He says, don't stop her. What she is doing is a beautiful thing. In other words, Jesus was saying, not that what you do is not good, but what she does too is a beautiful thing. What she is doing is honoring me. This week, as we begin to, or rather continue to study the life of Jesus, I want us to ask ourselves as well, is what we're doing out of routine, or we're doing it because everybody else is doing it? Or is there a way that I can honor God? Is there a way that I can speak to God differently? Is there a way that I can talk to God or share my faith differently? Yes, you're in quarantine, but there may be somebody who needs a phone call from you. There may be somebody who needs a text message. Those folk who love to post on Instagram, maybe instead of the funny TikTok stuff, you take some time to drop a scripture and what that means to you. Anyway, as we continue, we're headed to what is known as Good Friday, a time when Jesus gives his life for you and I, and then Resurrection Sunday, a time when we get to celebrate together as a family. I want you to join me on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, or you can go ahead and go onto our website and you can follow us there, www.riversidehouston.org. Pastor Keith, Senior Pastor of Riverside United Methodist Church in Houston, Texas. I love you. God bless you.